Hello everyone, this is Jessica with Black Travelers Network, where we provide trips that focus on the Black experience in different parts of the world, and we cover news that happen in different parts of the African diaspora. Before we get into today's story, I'm going to ask that you take a quick second and hit the subscribe button. This article comes to us from the New York Times. The title is "Trump Ends Temporary Immigration Status for Thousands of Liberians." President Trump said Tuesday that several thousand Liberians who have been living in the United States under a temporary immigrant status will have 1 year to return to their country or they will face deportation. The president said in a memo to the Secretary of State that he was formally ending a program that has allowed Liberian immigrants to remain in the United States and work legally since 1999, when President Clinton established it in response to the conditions in the country after the Civil War. More than 800,000 Liberians were displaced by the war and fled the country. Some sought refuge in the United States. The program, known as Deferred Enforced Departure, has been renewed for Liberians since, giving the immigrants the ability to remain in the United States without fear of deportation. But in the memo, Mr. Trump cited the improved conditions in Liberia as evidence that the program was no longer needed. Quote, "Liberia is no longer experiencing armed conflict and has made significant progress in restoring stability and democratic governance," Mr. Trump wrote. Liberia has also concluded reconstruction from prior conflicts, which has contributed significantly to an environment that is able to handle adequately the return of its nationals, end quote. Advocates for Liberians in the United States had urged Mr. Trump to simply extend the protections. Members of Congress from Minnesota, which has the largest Liberian population in the country, wrote a letter to Mr. Trump this month to echo those requests. Quote, "Many of these people have been in our state for decades, and they are an important part of our communities, where they serve as business owners, teachers, and healthcare workers," end quote. The lawmakers wrote, asking for an extension of the program. On Tuesday, Emira Woods, a Liberian American advocate for immigrants, described the president's decision as a mixed bag. She noted the year that Liberians have been facing deportation, but said ending the program would force them to abandon lives in the United States. Quote, "Many of these Liberians had children in the United States," end quote, she said. The Deferred Enforced Departure program for Liberians was scheduled to expire Saturday. Though he declined to renew the program, Mr. Trump ordered what he called an orderly transition, so that Liberians living in the United States could get their affairs in order before returning to Liberia. That period will extend for 12 months, Mr. Trump wrote. The decision about the Liberian program mirrors the actions the Trump administration has taken towards other larger groups of immigrants in the United States. Since taking office, the president has ended temporary protective status for certain immigrants from El Salvador, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Sudan, arguing that conditions have improved significantly in those countries. Is anyone even surprised by this? Go ahead and drop your comments below. Let us know what you think, and definitely share your story. If you know someone who will be impacted by this, or if it's someone in your family who's going to go through having to pack up their things and leave the United States, let us know. We'd love to hear what people are doing to get ready for this and prepare, if they're preparing at all. Thank you so much for listening.